UnclMario, Total Media.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, and welcome to UMTV. Today, we have a special guest with us. His name is Prophecy Onasis. Welcome.
Hello, everybody. How you doing?
We're so glad, and this is really special for me because this is like family to me. I want to ask you, starting off, before we go into all the details, Prophecy Onasis, such a powerful name. How did you get that?
Well, my mom never called me my birth name because my dad he's like George Foreman. He had 17 kids, bunch of boys, and they all had the same name. My mom always called me Buncina. I don't know what that means, but it had a lot of love around it. So I'm Buncina to my mom. And she always would say, I prophesy. So she said, I should call you the prophecy. So she would say, there you go, prophesying. So really my family knows me, and now my name is Prophecy. That's the name I know. And then Onasis came joking around because actually a young man I call Trey, Ontario Styles, calls himself Trill Gates. And he says, I says, okay, we became close. If you're going to be Trill Gates, then I'm Baby Onasis. And I said, and it actually means this. My mom laughs at this today. It doesn't really mean Onasis. It means own asses on the mic. And at the time, I was pretty good at, writing rhymes and rapping like a lot of young guys were aspiring to do when we first got introduced to hip hop. And that's how I got the name. So Prophecy Onasis is my name.
Wow.
And I don't know anything else. You yell out anything else, my family, that's my name.
Wow. I kind of happen to know that young man that you're talking about.
Yeah.
And I think that he would smile to know that. So that's pretty cool. So we go back a long way.
Yeah.
We go back to the beginning. Let's start at the beginning. I believe that would have been Denver.
Yeah, that was in Denver.
Okay. So how did you first get into music? How did you first get into anything to do with production and music?
It was kind of like I was forced when I was a little kid to show off from my auntie's friends, and she always thought I was talented. She was like a real strict aunt. Her name was Aunt Stella. And I guess I was like the only kid around that could entertain. So she'd go, get up there and sing us a song, boy. And then I would sing, and then the people then would put money in a hat and give me the money. So I was like, oh, I can get money off of this. And so I started doing stuff and singing and do plays, and somehow I wound up with a career in it and made money, and I just stuck with it for so long till I ended up knowing a lot of people in the industry, worked at a high level there and did very well. But that's how I started. And it's the typical journey, the studio life and all that stuff. I've done all that, owned studios of my own, and just branched off into a lot of things from that point.
So, all right, let's take one of those subjects, the music aspect. So now I know you're an awesome singer. I know you produce and write.
Yeah.
I know your family is talented.
Yeah.
So did you start off with the musical aspect of it as being an artist and then graduate into what we're going to talk about next?
Yeah, I actually first of all, thanks. Yeah, I started off singing and I was in a band, and I was kind of forced to play the instruments myself, and I had to learn a lot of the instruments and things of that nature. So the other things like engineering and producing kind of came because I had to do it, because no one was really there to do it for me, and I got good enough to do it for others. So that's kind of where it started, and it branched off from there, just kind of segued into other needs that I had to have to support my music career.
Wow.
So
Okay.
it started basically singing, and then instrumentation, production, band, live performance, the typical thing that you do in hopes that you can make a lot of money doing it, and that happened later.
Wow. Okay. So let's fast forward a little bit, and we know that you're a producer, we know you're a singer, we know you're a creator. What was the highlight of all of that when you were doing that? What was your highlight for there?
The highlight was my children. I had got a divorce when I was single parent with my son. At that time, he was only 2 weeks old, and I got custody of him when he was just a little baby. And I don't breastfeed, and I don't know any of that stuff. All I know is fatherly love, and I knew how to. I thought I knew how to comb my daughter's hair until I look at the pictures today. So the inspiration was to try to figure out something through there, and I was dead broke, and we were struggling. And then I ended up having a break to meet some amazing people who owned the Simpsons cartoon, basically fund Matt Groening. They saw my talents and changed my life in the early 2000s, and I never looked back financially, and I was able to take care of my children and become a mentor to many people in the space of entrepreneurship and things, and music as well.
And an awesome job you did with that. I kind of happen to know a couple of people who actually were able to work with you. You did a great job of being a mentor, of being someone that they wanted to follow behind and to work with. So I applaud you on that. And I also thank you because that also affected part of my family. So
I appreciate
I thank you for being that type of a person. And I know your family, I know your children, and I know that you've done an awesome and outstanding job of getting them into the industry as well and being productive young people to go into the world.
That's more important to me than anything. Like, there's no star power to me without give power, love power, black power, enabling people that pretty much wouldn't have an opportunity. That's pretty much where I came from. I had to create the opportunity. I use just because I'm black. Shout out Martin Luther King Day. King. I get emotional about it because I use just because I'm black and my melanin to do it with all my might. And that's what my mom would always tell me. She would tell me, if I tell her I'm going to do something, she'd go, okay, do it with all your might. And that's what I do.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. We're going to take a brief break, and we're going to come right back with more of Prophecy Onasis.
Hey.
And welcome back to UMTV. And today we have Mr. Prophecy Onasis. I like saying that because I feel like I'm just, royalty there. Prophecy Onasis. Yes, indeed. All right, so let's move forward. We talked about the beginnings. We talked about family. We talked about your talent. So let's talk about pushing a little bit forward to Denver, Streets on Fire. Where did that concept come from? And let's talk about what was it?
Well, it actually came from crunk music. When crunk music came out, there was this big movement that made the clubs happen again. And there was a lot of young men that were rapping, trying to get into the crunk style, and it made rap take a different turn. And so it came from the South, and in Colorado and places like the Midwest, they were just getting used to that type of lifestyle. So I had a traveling show I created called Streets on Fire, and I had no idea it was going to go so well. We ended up getting the trucks wrapped and getting venues in Colorado, and then the next thing you know, I was traveling around the country doing Streets on Fire at all the colleges, and we would take the best of all the people in that particular sector of music and put it on a show that I ended up landing because it grew so well to on Adelphia Television. It was Adelphia Cable, Comcast, Dish Network. I think it was DirecTV and all it. But I had 32 million homes that was on traditional cable TV that viewed my show over 5 years. And so it started off and just blew up overnight. And there was not a club that I went to during that time that didn't know about Streets on Fire. And it went really well until, music changed, and then I knew it was time to move on to something else. And Streets on Fire affected a lot of people's lives. I met a lot of amazing young men and women because it was song and dance, singing, writing. It was like a talent show without a competition. but then you were able to get in the mainstream because I was able to drop mainstream videos on my show from like main artists, and one of them was Lil Wayne. I think I was the first one to play the song Fireman before it even got to Billboard. So I got known for that right there, and it was fun. And people go, "Oh man, bring back Streets on Fire," but the times have changed, you know. And I would definitely have to get a different host. I have a different energy for other things.
Wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember those days, and I think that what you did with the community, again, you're very much into the community.
Yeah.
That really put a lot of people in a position to be able to show off their talents.
Yes.
A lot of families to be able to come together and bond at the shows. Also, an opportunity for the community to become involved in a lot of the things that you did. So that, again, was a very positive thing you did. You do lots of positive things. So let's move forward a little bit. You leave Denver and you come to Las Vegas. And I think I remember catching you performing. So when you came to Las Vegas, you had a little performing in you. And I can kind of remember a zoot suit and the bird.
Yeah, and what's funny about that is I didn't know, and I still don't know a lot of people in Las Vegas. I'm pretty family knit, and my business team is like my family, so don't really know the community as well as I did in other states. But I went to a barbecue with my wife, and it was one of her friends, and I didn't know anybody there, and this guy named Rico Diamante he came up to me, Latin guy, very nice guy, funny as hell. He came up to me and says, "Hey man, you do music, I need you to do this show." And I was like, kind of looked at him like, I don't even know him. That's the first thing he said. And I was like, "I don't do music." And he goes, "Yes you do." I go, "No I don't." Because I was like trying to like, I don't know this guy like this. He says, "Man, you sing, you do music. I could see it coming off you. I do this live show, and I need you to come do the show with me in a couple weeks." And he says, "Please, I need you to do the Time Reunion piece, and I know you know those songs." And I says, it's like a time, one of those things, knockoff versions of all those songs. And so I'm saying, well, he kept pressing. And so my wife comes in and goes, "Just do it." And I go, "What?" He goes, "So you do it." I says, "Man, I know the songs." She goes, "He knows it." Well, what's funny is I have a number, so it's going to be out there. If you call, I'm not going to answer. My number is 777-9311. That's the time.
Right,
Prince wrote the song.
right.
I won't tell you the prefix, but if you like me or don't like me enough, you know my number now. It's no secret. I don't care. I don't answer it. I won't answer the call if it's a blocked number anyway. But anyway, I did the show. But he came to me and he says to me, "Hey, it's a 2-hour show." I said, "So how long do I have to go?" Because you got to learn 2 hours worth of 2.5 hours each set. I says, "I don't know all the songs." He says, "They're in your head. You grew up on them. Trust me, you'll be able to do it." This man has never seen me practice or do anything.
Wow.
Next thing you know, I'm on stage at Aliante in Vegas. I'm like, people are going to think he went to Vegas to become part of the Vegas night. And I told him I'll do 2 shows. And I told him, "You don't have to pay me. I did it as a favor because I really liked the guy." But I also knew that I wasn't going to be able to commit to that because I was working on other things. And that's how you saw me on that show. It was just out of nowhere. Next thing you know, I'm on stage performing, complete stranger. And I only had 2 weeks to practice all of that. So all of that was muscle memory.
See, I would have never known that. It was an awesome show, zoot suits and all, and
Yeah.
the bird and everything else. And you did a fantastic job. And you have a good set of vocal pipes. So that's good in itself. So now, okay, we've got to that part. Let's fast forward a little bit to today.
Yeah.
What are you doing today?
Well, there was a great cross-pollination of my logic around a science-based mindset as a kid. I always was into that. I always was into technology. I always had to utilize technology. We ended up becoming very, very deep into programmatic advertisement. I and our team, we were part of AOL's team as partners in programmatic advertisement, monetizing long and short form video. We did that at an enterprise level from about 14 to 2018, till Verizon ended up buying AOL. Then in 2021, we switched over to more streaming applications. We won streaming Brand Blazer Award for streaming from Verizon, which was amazing. So basically, we built now from that point. We started around 2006, 7, real heavy into tech, but really heavy financially, being equipped to do some amazing things. We're building applications into slot machines. We're doing a lot of stuff with native apps. I work with a guy who is doing something called Time for Dominoes. It's the Domino app, gaming apps. I do all of those things at an enterprise level, and it's just been a takeoff again from the music. It's always going to be my love. I still do music. I still produce, but I produce for my car mostly. I don't push it out there. I just enjoy music. But I do work with Ted Joseph, who is the senior vice president of one time for 30 years at Warner Brothers. He's an independent. We work with all 3 labels. He's the president of my company. And we just did Jack Harlow's, Adele's, Billie Eilish, Ed Sheeran, and many more to come records in the recent time at radio and promotion. So we do that currently today. That was just put in Billboard. So in music, I'm more so behind the scenes, assisting Ted or working with the top label execs on their major releases.
Wow.
But that still surrounds technology. So we do it from a tech standpoint.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. We're going to go to a brief break, and we're going to come right back with more of Prophecy Onasis.
All right.
UnclMario Total Media is now in the metaverse, and we can bring you in too. Bring your business presence into the metaverse. Let us show you how. Buying virtual real estate, we got you. Setting up virtual stores, we got you. Customized graphics for the metaverse, we got you. Tying your businesses with your Instagram, Facebook, and other social media platforms, we got you. And much, much more. The metaverse and the real world. Let us show you how to tie them together. Get in now before they drag you in behind.
And welcome back to UMTV. And today, my special guest, Mr. Prophecy Onasis. So now we've talked the beginning, we've talked the middle, we've talked some of the projects in between. So tell me what your goal is for, say, the next 3 to 5 years, as far as business, as far as projects or things that you would want to do.
Well, it's an incubator program that I've started called Afro Futurism. It's spearheaded by my director of business operations in that arena, George Moore, who is a former Top Gun pilot, Harvard grad, and actually in the Hall of Fame at the Navy for the first black lacrosse player. He's been very close and instrumental and a mentor and a brother in my life since 2006. I started building out applications for him as well, but he had first met me teaching young entrepreneurship classes to young people. And one of his friends is Trig Marin, and his brother's Tor Marin, who is the creative director at Apple, who sat on our board at one point when we were building some 3D applications for mobile devices. And one of the things that Afrofuturism is focused on is empowering women and indigenous people and women of color to get into technology and to become recognized into technology. Because in the next few years to come, there's going to be a full bucket of jobs that are going to be empty based on corporation and growth. And a lot of people aren't going to be in the positions that they went to school for, and things that their life is just changing. So I want to be able to bring that element of funding to projects for women of color, black women, Latin women, and indigenous people all together, and be a resource in that program to allow people to do what I do. I'm at a point in my life, a lot of people, if I was younger, I would probably be parading down the street saying, look at me. But when you get your principle and your purpose down, you do less of that. And I would hope this would happen to most people. And you become more focused on things that really makes you feel good, because there was not a lot of, my mom was there for me. There was not a lot of people who cheered me on. I had to do a lot of these things, and my biggest motivation was my children. And so when I see a lot of these people out there, they're single parent, or let's say even if they're not, are at a disadvantage, whether it's knowledge or financial. I want to make sure that my program allows people to be recognized and let them know that they're relevant in technology.
Wow. So tell me about Forbes.
Well, that's one of those things where when you win something and you know that you got a team behind you to make it happen. I think more deserving than I should be on Forbes and talked about. It's more deserving for me to speak about the people that's around me. When you get the type of people that I have around, and you make a decision, and this goes out to everybody, to select people that not just to lift you, but they're just good people and they work towards a mission. You're going to end up on Forbes. You're going to end up on the moon if you want to go there. You're going to end up building the pyramids. You're going to end up going to the depth of the sea and coming back and be able to submerge and come back and immerse yourself in some great dynamics. So being on Forbes is not just me. I'm just a face. I'm galvanized by some amazing people. And if they see this piece, I'm smiling because they've all been with me, most of them, for over 15 to 20, 25 years. And they migrated with me through all this. So I tell people, one of the biggest things you could give somebody is give something, the most valuable is to their subconscious. Those people gave stuff to my subconscious, and that's what about Forbes in a humble way. I could talk about, I got on Forbes and I'm great, but I'm a person like anybody else. I made decisions of temptation, things that pull you moments of pleasure, cost you lifetimes of luxury. But can I say a cuss word? I'm past my fuck ups. So there's enough going against you in life to do stuff to yourself, and your adversities are usually blamed on yourself. So I got on Forbes just by being around good people.
Well, you too are good people, and you have a good heart, and you have a good positive energy. You always have had that. And so good people with good hearts beget good things. And so that's how I look at it. It was deserving. Congratulations for that. And what was the worst piece of advice you've ever been given?
Can I go back to how did you know about the Forbes thing? I showed you that, or what? How that?
I do my research.
Okay, because I only show my kids and stuff because I don't be like, I don't be people think I'm snotty or something. But I'm sorry to cut your wisdom.
I do my research.
Yeah.
And I don't remember how I did it, but I found it.
Okay, so what was the question?
Oh, Lord.
I goofed you up.
So what did I say, worst or best? Worst? What was the worst piece of advice that you were ever given?
Oh, a lot. Every day. Every day you get bad advice. Fear-based. People try to install fear into my plans. That's when I'm going to work it even harder. He's going to more. Here's the one. You hear suggestions or even that. There's a lot of people do that. Okay, great. Show me my opponent, as Lil Wayne would say. Or this company did it this way. Well, I guess Ford should have never built any trucks because somebody else did. So it's just people do that all the time. They install fear, and that's because they're afraid of success or possibly having to look at themselves on the tree of success by looking somebody else. I'm here for my own people most of the time. I'm here to complete with people, not compete with them. So it's real difficult for me to have conversations when you're successful. People can talk about their retirements and how great they're going, but as soon as you go, hey, I made several $1 million doing this and I got to do this, and they go, oh, he's showing out. So it can be lonely sometimes having conversations with people. So when you have a conversation, somebody thinks you're bragging or you're showboating on them. So they're going to always give you some fear-based mindset. So I can't stick out something in particular. But if I was just to say the worst advice is that I did have a teacher one time tell me that I'm never going to become what I'm become.
Got it. I can relate to that. So if a young person or a woman or an impoverished person came to you and said, how can I get on a path to be like you, to be where you are, to accomplish the things that you've accomplished? What would you tell me to start as my first, second, and third item to go on that path?
The first thing I would tell them is be yourself. Endure the understanding that you came to this planet unique. I don't try to go around trying to find the weakness in a person. I try to find a superpower in them because I can't do anything. I says, understand you have a superpower and somebody's going to always try to take it from you because they haven't discovered theirs. So discover your superpower and have fun doing it, and understand that there's going to be people who, because they've never discovered theirs, they're going to feel bad or make you feel bad and think that you can't feel great about yourself. So be an individual, and that's what's important. And break down the word, that compound word. In yourself, you're divided, good and bad. And there's a duel going on all the time. I can choose to go over here, which I almost did. Or I can choose to go over here. That's the duality. That's the word individual. I don't know if that's too deep for some people, but I was taught that by a master teacher of wisdom when I was 12 years old. And he told me, remember that. Fight the duality of who you are. The biggest war is in your head. That's the war, not the people against you. Because you don't have to work with the people who say things about you. You don't have to show up at and entertain them. And you don't have to have them entertain you. You can get around people, and that's a choice. Greatness is a choice. It starts with mitigating things that are going to take away from you. So I just tell people, create who you are and understand your self-image is very important to self, not others. I get dressed in the morning to look at me. I don't get dressed in the morning for everybody to look at me.
What? You are a unique individual because everybody gets dressed in the morning and be like, they going to think I look like this.
No, because I get dressed. I really get dressed in the morning. My wife asks still to this day, where are you going? I says, we've been together 12 years. I'm going to the mirror and I'm going downstairs to the office. And when I look past the mirror, I got to look at me.
Right.
So being your self-image, create who you want to be and manifest that. Remember, hopes and dreams and wishes are not plans. Some people think because they hope and dream or wish, they got a plan. That's not how life works when you got a destiny. Control your desire. Let the universe and God be in control of the destiny. Where you get frustrated is when you think, I can control my destiny. No, we can't. Some people, you can kill yourself, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're controlling your destiny either. Control your desires and you really can go far. Create tiny habits and turn them into big things.
Today our special guest, Mr. Prophecy Onasis. I like saying that because I am introducing royalty. Oh, I like it. Prophecy Onasis. Okay. All right. So we'll go past that part. Prophecy, we have talked about the beginning, the middle, and the working up and the things that you want to project to. So in this segment, I would like for you to, share with us what you want people to know about your company and you, and also share with us the contact information where people can go and find out more information about your organization.
Yeah, Prophecy Onasis, CEO of Radiant Technologies. We're an agency. Our agency is a programmatic advertisement agency with a vertical around entertainment, wrapped around technology, content delivery platforms, streaming, and monetization. We also do growth strategies at an enterprise level with all of the pretty much Fortune 500, 1,000 brands. Um, my contact information is Prophecy Onasis, or it's prophecy at radianttechnologies.io, or you can prophecy Onasis at Gmail if you have something personal you like to talk about. And mentorship, you can reach me there. And also, if you want to call the company and talk about some of the things you need for your company, that number is 650-720-7488, Prophecy Onasis, Radiant Technologies. And you can visit radiantmedia.io. You can see us. Everything we do is right there. All our distribution points, and maybe there's something we could do for you. Our goal is to make people, companies number one. Simple as that. I have the best job in the world because we can leave our egos at the door. Because the reason why I feel like I'm number one is I make people number one, and sometimes that's not a guarantee, but that's our goal. Take you from 0 to 1,000.
That's simply awesome. So, if I am looking for your company, what can I expect to find the services?
Okay, so some of our services, we build OTT platforms. We have owner-operated platforms. That's over-the-top television platforms with high-end streaming components. We build native apps, solutions. We monetize long and short-form video. We do DSP and SSP campaigns, which is demand-side platform and supply-side platform campaigns for growth so companies can reach their target market and exponentially have a conversion in the end so that they can build their bottom line and generate revenue. So basically, those are some of the services that we provide.
And that's awesome. All right, so now tell us something that you want the viewers to know.
Well, I want the viewers to know that life is short if you make it short. I think that if you live at the top of the food chain in thought, listen to your body. It's very important. The body will take you where you need to go. Don't always listen to the first thing your mind to tell you to do. The mind to make you drift off, do things with your taste buds, eat too much food, drink too much all night, stay out all night, do goofy stuff. Listen to your body and listen to the universe. And a lot of things start happening as close to magical as you can make it happen. I think anything's obtainable. Understand your desires and understand that, there are people in the world that are like you, and make choices to put the right people in your circle and enjoy life. That's pretty much where life should be. It's peace. I believe in food, water, air, and prayer, and I always believe that on a more spiritual level more than a religious doctrine. And the rest of this stuff I got and everything is a bonus. It's just a bonus.
Wow. Well, it's been a delight talking to you today, and I've really, really enjoyed being able to see how the progress has gone from the very beginning all the way up to where you are now. That's just simply awesome. What I would like is for you to tell me one thing that we don't know about you, that if you weren't in this business, that would have been your profession.
Okay, wait. You're saying if... Okay, let me get that
Okay,
again?
so if you hadn't ended up in the technological era as a musician, I mean, what is something else that you're really good at that you might have pursued?
Bull riding.
Huh? Bull riding.
Mm-hmm.
So Black Rodeo.
I really wasn't thinking about black or white, but just bull riding. Probably
Wow.
because I played football. That's kind of common. You know, people do that in basketball and stuff, but I wasn't that good at basketball because I never asserted myself. I was just natural. But football was the thing I would have probably done, but that's common. But probably bull riding.
Bull riding. Well, okay.
Yeah.
I would have watched. Because I have a hard time just even thinking about roller skating right now.
I would have tried to be number one at
Wow.
world time, but I just didn't have that chance to do that. Like I tried, hurt myself doing it on my own. Like I was warned not to try it, but if I'd have stayed around the elements in Dallas and Ravenna, Texas, I would have probably did that with all my
Wow.
might, as my mom said.
Wow.
And if I had a choice to choose it probably over everything else, I probably would choose that first.
Okay. So, see, that's an interesting fact. I like to always get interesting facts. Sometimes people talk about being a chef or cooking or sometimes you never know. So you don't know until you ask. So I asked. I want to say thank you so much for coming.
I know I threw you off with that, but if people who know me, that's something, if it comes on television or anything, or I can get to go through those things, I go. So not to cut you off, but I appreciate you having me here.
Oh my gosh. I'm just tickled that you were able to take the time out of your busy schedule and come hang out with me. I enjoyed it thoroughly. Invite you back again whenever you have time to come in and share more information. We've learned about music. We've learned about artistry. We've learned on projects that you want to go into. And we have learned about Radiant. So one more shout out for Radiant, please.
Shout out to Radiant Team, Las Vegas, Denver, Colorado, and all of our expanded areas. Shout out to the team from head to toe. We're going to go with George Moore, this core team, UnclMario. We got Big Ron, George. We got Joe Salvador. We have Space. We have Sagai. We got Josh. We have Kayla. We have Natasha. We have Indy. Boy, if I miss somebody, we have Ted. We have Steve. It goes on. We have Brian Allen. Did I say Indy? We have Indy. We have G8, G7. We have let's see. Oh man, it's just if I shouldn't have done this to myself. We have Cassius. We have Legend. We have Nasias. It goes on, and it's all the love. It's my inspiring force behind me. Shout out to the team. Stay radiant, and let's go.
All right. Well, I'm going to say thank you for coming out. And I look forward to getting an opportunity to talk to you again soon. All right, viewers, that's it for today. Thank you for coming and watching UMTV and our guest, Prophecy Onasis.
UMTV, Sabrina Carnes, Fam Oneness, all day, y'all. Let's go.